All right, race fans, welcome to TurnLeftTV. Be ready for some high-speed action tonight. Step on the gas. All right, race fans, welcome to Kansas Speedway. This is TurnLeftTV, and I'm your host, Heath Johnson. Oh, the high-octane Racing League Buschwackers Series hits Kansas. There's no place like home. There's no place like home. For race number 4 of the season, it's a 100-lap race, and this mile and a half is lightning fast. Who's got what it takes to bring home the victory here at Kansas? Well, there's only one way to find out, and that's watch it right here on TurnLeftTV. Well, if you feel the need for speed, we got it for you here tonight at Kansas. A 100-lap race. It's race number 4 of the season. Let's get this party started. All right, thank you so much for joining me here on TurnLeftTV. And what a good one we have in store for you tonight. Kansas Speedway, are you kidding me? Race number 4 of the season, a 100-lapper at this great mile and a half. I'm your host, Heath Johnson, broadcaster here at TurnLeftTV. Thank you so much for joining us. And this is going to be a great one, man. Kansas is a lot of fun, a lot of close racing here. Got about 13 minutes left, a little over 13 minutes left in the practice session. Thank you so much for joining us here as we get things rolling on a snowy east and midwest of the United States. East Coast is getting hit tonight, man, with a bomb cyclone. That is awful. So we definitely thoughts and prayers going out to those folks there on the East Coast. If you're pinned up, stick with us tonight, man. Got a good one here for you, man. Kansas is always a fun race. Thank you for joining me here on the YouTube channel. Don't forget to hit that thumbs up button. Hit the subscribe button if you already aren't already subscribed. And don't forget to smash the bell. You get updates when races are going live. And thanks to all those subscribers out there. I got another subscriber, man. Yes! One more subscriber on the way to 1,000. Man, that would be a big deal for me. Help me out. But thanks to all the folks who've been here from the beginning, all the people who've joined somewhere in the middle, and all the brand new folks as well. Really appreciate it. Please hit that thumbs up button, too. If you're out here watching the race, please hit that thumbs up button. That goes a long, long way, too, to getting these races out there for people to see. Chris Passel, whoa, he's getting some practice pitting. That'd be slippery in his area of the world. The guys getting some practice in. Dana Grover here in the 89 Track GR. Sponsored Toyota getting some practice in. Let me take a look at the schedule, and that's, like I said, this is race number 4. And look at what we got coming up next week, man. The Daytona duels, 2 35-lap races to set the front row for the February the 13th full Monty at Daytona. And notice we got 75 laps on that bad boy versus 70, so going to extend that race distance just a little bit. But 2 races coming up next week. The winner of each of the duels will start on the front row. Whoever wins race number 1 will start on the pole, and then race number 2 will be outside pole in P2 on February the 13th. The rest of the drivers on February 13th will qualify for the remaining positions. See, we got Atlanta coming up on the 20th, Watkins Glen, a road course, on February the 27th, and Phoenix on March the 6th. March the 13th, Las Vegas 100 lapper there to finish out the season. So a great season headed your way, and we are almost smack dab in the middle. More racing headed your way this weekend. Richmond, oh man, I love that track. Richmond, 130 lap race coming up in the Saturday Night Thunder Next Gen Series. It's season 1, race number 5, and racing starts at 9:15, quals at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And there's a QR code there if you're interested in joining us. It's the Next Gen Series, Saturday Night Thunder, high octane racing league style. Tough Trucks will be back in action on Wednesday night. Race number 5 of that season. And that is Nashville Super Speedway. That's going to be lightning fast as well. 110 lap race there. Coming up on Wednesday, February the 4th. And we got a tire rule in that series as well. 12 total tires you're allotted. And man, you got to really take care of your tires at Nashville too. It can really grind them off. So this is going to be a fun race. Always an interesting race at Nashville. That's coming up on Wednesday. And race start time, or qual time, is at 8 p.m. 8:15 is the race time there on Wednesday. Get some chatters coming in here. Givaldo starting us off, man. So he was giving us a play-by-play as well. Wish I could scroll through that and so you guys can see it there. But thank you, Givaldo, for setting us up for the broadcast. Appreciate that. Givaldo, one of our favorite sons there from Brazil. Alvarez there joining us, 1973. Buenas noches. Buenas noches. And also Gelson Neto looking like he's joining us as well. So good to see him in here. Well, the track at Kansas. So I tried to show you there at the very beginning of the broadcast there. Sorry about that. 1.5 miles, 4 turns, of course. Turns, the banking 17 to 20 degrees progressive banking there. Front stretch 9 to 11 degrees. That makes it even faster. Little banking there. Back stretch at 5 degrees of banking. And I think the tri-oval area is an area that's really ripe for passing, but it's going to be tight through that area. I think guys are going to be up near the wall tonight as well. So Kansas always adds a pretty cool flavor to the racing. A lot of guys in the mix here maybe to win a race tonight here at Kansas. And of course, we need to look at the standings here coming into tonight's race. And Palumbo with a 20-point lead over Sean Jacobs. Preston Hassel in the mix as well. In third, John Stanley fourth. Rounding out the top 5 there, Tony Furtado. He's out there hauling snow over on the East Coast. He's a dump truck and will not be able to be here tonight. Dennis Schuderson in the 6th position. Dana Grover 7th. Givaldo Spindola 8th. Gordon Carter in 9th. Oh, I got to move this up a little bit, don't I? I'm slipping. See if we can get this right. There we go. Man, what a weak operation I got going on here. There we go. Stanislav Pavlov rounding out the top 10. He'd be mad if I didn't show him in the 10th position. This kid. Eugene Fedorov, top of that second page. Julio Caligari, Jack Furtado, Jesus Iglesias, and Gilmar Peixoto, top 15. There's the Arthur Vieira, Claudio Bardelli Jr., Craig Marizon, Chris Hughes, and Brent Owen rounding out the top 20. And then P21, there is Franco Alvarez. So there's the standings coming into tonight's race. And again, taking a look at that top 5 there. I think really you're looking at that top 7 or 8 guys, at least 7 guys I think have still got a shot, but they're going to need some help. But definitely that 3-way battle up front is very interesting here. So it's within striking distance here in the next few races. So those are the standings coming into tonight's race. Is Stanislav Pavlov joining us in the chat session as well? How about that? Stanislav Pavlov is a regular now. He must have dumped his girlfriend. Just kidding, Stanislav. You know you'd never do that. And about 4.5 minutes left to go in the practice session. Here we go, Stanislav. Hey! Good luck to the drivers tonight. Got a bigger field than I thought with all the snow and the weather issues. Jack Furtado out here getting some laps in. Tony's older brother. Jack says older and better looking. 94 with those old guard HORL drivers. Oh yeah, what time is it there? What time is it there, Stanislav? Like 5 in the morning? More dedicated than I am, that's for sure. I do get up 5 in the morning every day to go to work, or Monday through Friday, and it is not fun. I am not a morning person. You can ask my students. Well, let's take a look at the race keys. How about that here at Kansas? Tire management. Even though this is kind of a smooth track, I mean, the way that you drive this track, it is tough on tires. Massage that throttle here tonight, too. Through the corners, you're going to have to massage that throttle. Goose the throttle there a little bit. You got to get out of the throttle. You can't really make it or go in full bore. You're going to burn up your tires. You're going to get up on the outside wall. You're going to have to massage the throttle there in traffic, too. So corner exit is big here, man. You got to get a good bite off corner exit, off the corners to get a good run down the straightaways. Limit the aggressive driving. I mentioned that just a few moments ago. It's going to be some side-by-side racing here. Guys are going to dive down to the middle or the bottom side. They're trying to do a little bit of a slide job. You're going to have to limit that aggression because by the time you make that move, that car on the outside has got to run and it's back in that slot. So going to be really, really careful here with the aggression. I'm not saying don't be aggressive. You just got to limit that aggression. You got to pick your spots and pick your time, really. Pit stops on point, too, man. Getting on and off pit lane, that is key, really, to any track. Getting on and off pit lane is a big one. You say, what is at the bottom of the list, right? Well, you know, these others are important, too. But pit stops on point, on and off pit lane, very important. So you do not lose some precious, precious time.
We'll step on the gas.
And we're looking at just under 2 minutes left to go before we hit the qualification session. Take a look at Stanislav now. Oh, right there. Look at that. Jack Furtado, but it got in there. They're hitting his hood. Jack Furtado might have spun around. And they pushed his hood out there. It looks like they've given him another hood here. Look at this. He got a little bit loose right there. He coming up the track, and they wham right into the wall. And then you're going to see, no, that could hurt you. And the hood flying around like a piece of paper. Jack Furtado in the mood for another hood. So getting ready to go to quals. I think we still got some guys out there on the track. How about Gilmar Peixoto? PixBet sponsored Chevy. One of our great Brazilian drivers. Tonight's race is brought to you by EliteHostingUSA.com. Are you interested in an rFactor 2 server? There are 3 self-managed server packages for you to choose from. How about hosting your website, your online store? Those options are also available through EliteHostingUSA.com, as well as VPS hosting and shared web hosting. Well, that's going to do it for the practice session. These guys are going to get geared up to get those 2 fast laps in and get a good spot on the grid. So starting up front could be big here. Get you a good pit stall and keep you out of that traffic, and things get a little dicey maybe in the middle of the pack, and that can lead to some problems if you're back there in the pack as well. You can get caught up in somebody else's deal. So these guys have shifted over to the qualification session. Like maybe Givaldo Spindola is our first driver off pit lane to get his qual in. So the 68 car, Givaldo Spindola. His outlap, and to get an idea is how this works. This track, just kind of get up toward the wall and then go down to the inside as you come off the corners. A little bit of a diamond into corners here as he starts his first timed lap. Pretty conservative right there on that second sector. Hassel with a 31.060. Givaldo about a 10th off, now dropping to third. The 31.161. Take a look at Chris Hughes. Let's see where he lands. Chris Hughes right now shown in 5th. Let's take a look at this second lap for him. And Palumbo to the top of the grid, 31.022. Hassel back to 2nd. Jacobs 3rd. Vieta is 4th. Spindola right now in P5. Let's see where Chris Hughes lands. That second sector a little bit off the pace. But let's see where they are. 31.134 up to P6 for Chris Hughes. How about Jack Furtado in the 94? Looks like he has already finished up his. How about there? And John Stanley has as well. Oh, I don't know about Stanislav. He might have another lap in him. He's on his out lap. Oh, yeah, he got both laps. We're going to get this. South Point sponsor machine. One of our great Russian drivers. Fire the DJ. Here we go. Timed lap. And again, the time to beat. Vieta to the top of the grid with a 39.68. Breaking some hearts there. Archer Vieta to the top of the grid. That's a hefty time to beat. Wow. A little bit in the red there on the first sector. Second sector a little faster, but still in the red. .31.367. A little work to do for Stanislav here on lap number 2. A little bit better that time in sector number 2. Still in the red here. He's going to be able to maybe bump up a few spots here. Let's see, up to P5. A little bit better run there on lap number 2. Gilmar Peixoto, let's see where he's at. Some work to do there in sector 1. He's about a tenth off, a tenth and a half. A little bit faster there in sector number 2. Hovlov's up to that 5th position. Good run there for him. Good starting position. Let's see if Gilmar could get up there and crack the top 5. 31.302, P11. He's got some work to do. Got another lap in him in that PicksBet sponsored Chevy. So at 30.968 is the time to beat. See where this one lands, a 71. Being a little conservative there, 31.415, still P11 there for Gilmar. So we'll give you the official results after the quals are over. Thank you so much for joining me here on TurnLeftTV. Appreciate everybody being here tonight. And as always, let's get this party started.
is called the Buschwackers Series. We're risking it all. Third time it was roar, Jacob speed. The thrill is close. Crazy Eddie Palumbo, pushing past the most. House of the Carter, chase the neon streak in this league of legends. No time for we. Rev it up, feel the power. Let the engine scream. High octane racing, living every dream. TurnLeftTV's watching under neon light. We're taking it to the edge in the dead of night. Tires screaming, hearts are racing faster. Warriors of the asphalt, faster, faster. From the checkered flag to the pounding sound in the Buschwackers, legends are found. Heath Johnson's voice moving through the chaos. Every lap of battle, never gonna pause. Steel and fire, the rivals collide. This is the racing where legends ride. Rev it up, feel the tower. Let the engine scream. High octane racing, living every dream. TurnLeftTV's watching under neon light. We're taking it to the edge in the dead of night. No limits, no fear, just throttle and drive. Chasing glory, feeling alive. Stars of the league, leaving trails of smoke. In the high octane, the fire's woke. So raise your fist, scream out loud. In this race, we're a part of the crowd. TurnLeftTV, where heroes are made. And Buschwackers, legends won't fade.
All right, we are back. And it looks like we're in the warm-up session. Thank you for hanging with us here at TurnLeftTV. In case you're just joining us, the High Octane Racing League Buschwackers Series, race number 4 at Kansas tonight. And likely to be a barn burner. We got the results for you of the qualification session. Take a look at the qual results. Arthur Vieta with a 30.968 starts on the pole in that NASCAR BR sponsored Chevy. Ed Palumbo makes it all Chevy front row, qualifies in the second position. Preston Hassel, the top forward, that 27, starts in P3. Jesus Iglesias in the 22 Orange Crush sponsored machine starts P4. Sean Jacobs in the 24 Kubota sponsored Chevy starts P5. Stanislav Pavlov in the 62 qualifies P6. Look at all those Chevys there. Javonis Biddle qualifies 7th with a 31.111. Dana Grover, the only Toyota out here tonight, qualifies in P8. He's got a little work to do to climb up the grid, but expect to see that 89 up front here toward the end. Chris Hughes, good to see Chris out, fellow's teacher. In the 7th car, he qualified in the 9th position. Qualifying in 10th is John Stanley in the 12. Qualifying in 11th is Jomar Peixoto in a 71 Pick-sponsored Chevy. And Jack Furtado qualifies in P12. So these guys are now in the warm-up session. Guys are getting some practice. See right there, I was talking about pitting and how, oh boy. I was talking about the keys to the race here, man. I'm telling you, it is tough getting on pit lane. You're carrying a ton of speed with the banking off the corner and then down onto the flat. And that pit lane timing line comes up quick. So always good to get a little practice pitting here. And that's what you're going to see, I think, right now. Man, Givaldo making some claims right now. Look at that. He's saying Jesus and Arthur tonight. Both those good bets. Just got to make sure you're patient here tonight. A little patience goes a long way at this track. I tell you what, I haven't gotten my pick in yet, but woo, Nelly. There's my guy right there tonight, my pick. I think my pick is this man right here. Here we go. I'm locking it in. Look at Chris Hughes. I tell you what, he is really trying to fly the edge on getting in there. So that's good, man. You got to find out where the limit is. And the 62 is my pick to win this race. Stanislav Pavlov today. Keep your eye on him. Not too late to get your picks in. Come on now, Givaldo. You can only pick one driver. Come on, bro. You got to commit to one driver. I guess if you have that much money, you can bet on two different drivers, you know. So about just under 5 minutes left to go. Givaldo letting us know that Ed and Sean are already up to planning some strategies, maybe pitting together in the warm-up session. Or maybe a little fuel save strategy here tonight too. We've seen Kansas be a fuel mileage race. Could definitely be the case tonight. Let's check out our side-by-side and make sure that is working. I should have done that earlier, but looks like it is working just fine. We've got about 4 minutes left to go in the practice session, or in the warm-up session. Sorry about that. Tell you what, man, you placing some bets. Here's a good driver to place a bet on, too. He's always working that calculator, man. I think he's really, really solid with that. And where he maybe separates himself from some of these other drivers, he really has a plan, a long-term plan, and he's able to adjust that long-term plan as that race dictates as well. So we've seen him kind of hang back in the back, and then, you know, when we start getting, you know, a little past halfway, he starts picking them off a little bit. And then once we get down to about that last maybe 15, 20 laps, he is right there in the mix. One thing is, he's got to stay out of trouble here at Kansas. I think the aero can be quite important here, so if you get some big-time damage early on, that could really, you know, mess up your night. It'd be a long night as well. to get some practice on the pit lane. So keep your eye on that, the lone Toyota out here tonight. That's Data Grover racing from the Trax VR facility up in Calgary. I hesitate to think about how cold it is in Calgary, given how cold it is here in Indiana. I mean, we were about 0 this morning, Fahrenheit, of course, and I think we're at 9 Fahrenheit now. I'm kind of sick of that, to be honest with you. Couple minutes left to go in the warm-up session. Jesus Barbecue Iglesias in this orange crash sponsor machine. Another one you know is going to be fast here tonight. Just got to keep that car out of trouble. And Orange Crush, he doesn't want to get the Orange Crush crushed tonight. Crushed like a pop can. Not exactly the way you'd want to do that, I don't think. About a minute and a half left. Not too late to get your picks in. Could bet on the Picks Bet sponsored Chevy. That would be ironic. Again, I want to say thank you for joining me here on TurnLeftTV. If you're here, hit that thumbs up button. Subscribe if you haven't done so, and smash the bell. Always looking for new subscribers, but definitely give that thumbs up. And you come out each and every week, or you join us for the first time, consider subscribing to the channel and help me out here at TurnLeftTV. Appreciate all the subscribers, all the people come out and watch too, all the supporters. I love this, man. It's a lot of fun to do. I'm always looking forward to Fridays. Seems like I'm working my way through my real job just so I can get to Friday night and broadcast these races. It's pretty fun. And these guys are my friends too, and I'm watching the race here tonight. Here we go. He's on fire again. Barbecue. All right, lock them in, baby. Warm-up is over. The command to start the engines headed your way.
Hold on to your butts, 'cause this is gonna be a great show.
Attention grid, will all non-essential personnel leave the grid now.
We got fast cars racing, hopefully you're pacing. Are you ready for some high-speed action? Step on the gas.
All right, here we go with the starting order. Starting in P1, in the fours, Archer Vieira, 54 car. Ed Palumbo starts in second. Preston Hassel starts in the third position, and fourth will be Jesus Iglesias. Sean Jacobs starts in P5. Stanislav Pavlov starts in the sixth position. Givaldo Spinola starts seventh, and Data Grover will start in the eighth position. Starting in ninth will be Chris Hughes in the 7. John Stanley starts P10. Jomar Peixoto is in the 11th position. Jack Furtado will start in P12. So Archer Vieira capturing the pole position. And the NASCAR BR sponsor machine. And hello to all our friends over there at NASCAR BR. Don't forget my race keys, man. Manage the tires. Tough on tires here. Massage that throttle. Corner exit, hugely important. And limit the aggressive driving. This thing lends itself to aggressive driving, so you just got to pick your spots, really. And make sure your pit stops are on point. Did I say corner exit too? I missed that one. You know, getting through the corners, really got some multiple lanes here you can deal with. And a lot of guys, I think, are going to be faster on the outside line. Corner exit's hugely important here so you can get a good run coming off the corner. Pace car is wiggling. Wiggling a little bit. It's getting antsy. I think we're ready to rock. Here we go. Here we go. Here at Kansas.
Green flag, go, go, go.
Argentina leading the field there. Taking the green flag. Ed Palumbo in the 54 on the outside line. Starting to jockey around a little bit up front. Preston Hassel running on that inside line there, battling the 22. Vieta has cleared the 54. So a little bit loose there, depending on what part of the track you're in. We saw that with Preston Hassel. He got a little bit loose, had to catch it. Have a horrible camera angle right there, huh? The nose to tail. Take a look at my pick to win this race. 62, Stanislav Pavlov running in the 7th position. Just behind him, Dana Grover in the Toyota. John Stanley all over the back of the fellow Canadian there. And they may be working together. Both those guys dive down to the inside line. Dana Grover leading that charge on the inside. And Nelly driven up the track there a little bit. The 12 of John Stanley. Tim Horton sponsor machine. Just behind Dana Grover. Take a look at Stanislav Pavlov's perspective. See Dana Grover now running in the 7th position, and John Stanley on that inside line to get a little run there. That'll work early on, I think, with the fresh tires, but man, once it, oh, right there, picks back number 71, got into the outside wall. Peugeot got in the outside wall. I think there was something else going on up there as well. Take a look here. Take a look at the back of Sean Jacobs' machine. I think there was something going on there. Oh, look at that, man. The back end of that car wanted to come around a little bit. Caught it, but it definitely got a little bit loose. Jack Furtado and Gilmar Peugeot. Now, Gilmar's got some right side damage to that car. That's 71. He got way up into the outside wall and hit pretty hard. Rivaldo Spindler's got a good run here as well. He is trying to get some spots. He got below the 12 of John Stanley, so Gilmar feeling a little racy here early on. Be careful with that tire management. That's big here tonight. It's a little bit of a sucker track, man. It kind of suckers you in to go down that bottom line and really pressing the issue. But, man, I'll tell you what, late in the run, that is not a good deal. 62, Stanislav Pavlov and Chris Hughes had a little battle there. Looks like Chris Hughes has gotten around Pavlov. Chris Hughes moving up to the 9th position. Dana Grover way up on that outside line. He is great on those outside line tracks, man. I mean, when that's in play, Dana Grover really can get it just centimeters from the wall. Out of the front of his machine, take a look at the battle 1 through 5. Grover running into 6th position. And Palumbo here. Palumbo giving up a spot now. Jesus Iglesias says, I want to lead some laps. So barbecue up front now. So Jesus Iglesias wanting to lead some laps here at Kansas. Take a look at battle here between Givaldo Spittle and Chris Hughes. Chris Hughes diving down to the inside line. Givaldo up on the outside line's got a little bit better launch on the exit using the outside line. I mentioned the outside really, I think it's, if you can really do it, get as close up into the outside wall, you're going to get a better run off the corner. And Givaldo picking up a spot there on Chris Hughes. Take a look at that passing in there, but the 94 and the 71 now battling. The 94, Jack Furtado trying to smooth through there. Oh, Stanislav, he's trying to sneak through as well. Jack Furtado leaving a little bit of a gap for Stanislav as Gilmar had to go up to the high line. And Gilmar, oh, Gilmar! Oh, man! Man, he was risking it all right there. Pavlov, I think, had to check up. And they're still battling. Stanislav Pavlov and Gilmar Peixoto. Oh, boy! Boy, these guys say, I came to dance tonight. 62 South Point sponsor machine. He's got to stay in the fight, man. He's my pick to win the race tonight. They're still battling. It's so hard to pass here. I think 71 finally conceding. Got a pass up front here with, this is for the third position, Sean Jacobson, the Kubota-sponsored Chevy, now up to P3. Jesus Iglesias and Artur Vera seem to kind of be working together. Jesus hails from Spain. He lives in Brazil now. And Artur Vera, Brazil as well. These guys, man, I'll tell you what, these South American guys, they are so excited about racing. Just all forms of racing, man. You know, Jesus and Artur, they do Indy cars. They do, you know, a little GT3 now and then. Of course, stock cars, trucks. And just passionate about the sport of racing. Take a look at a little bit of a little replay here as that Dana Grover working this outside line here on the 68. Got a little help with the 12 just behind him. Givaldo battling back on the inside though. And, oh, whoa, Nelly. Whoa, Nelly. And this is getting tight here. 89 cars. Got to look at the front. He's kind of wisely, I think, lets Givaldo go. He's got a good run off the corner there. You see that high line and how much gap he's able to close in on somebody who's on the bottom line. You can really do this outside line, feather the throttle through the corners, you get a run. You see, look at that. He's closing in on those guys and eating up some distance. That's the way to drive this track. Jesus Iglesias knowing how to drive this track right now. As Artur Vera, he and Artur Vera have pulled away. 1.7 seconds separating P2 and P3. Chris Hughes now picking up a spot here as he's going to get around Ed Palumbo. Using the 7 car, Palumbo up on the outside line. And Chris Hughes. Oh, Tim Horton's 12 got a little bit loose. I don't know if he got into the wall there or not, but he got a little bit loose. Able to catch it. As Chris Hughes making that pass on the 54. That's going to leave the door open, I think, for Dana Grover. Dana Grover on the inside. Ooh, Toyota versus Chevy. Chris Hughes up to the 6th position. We weren't sure he was going to be able to race. He was having some connection issues. But thank heavens he's out here with us. Stanislav Pavlov diving down to the inside of John Stanley. Been green, clean and green here so far. A couple guys maybe touching the wall there. Look like that mellow yellow car almost did there. Mellow yellow falling back to the 9th position. And, you know, I think some of these guys may be hanging back here a little bit, saving some fuel, saving some tires. Kind of how this race tends to play out. Givaldo and Gilmar battling. Oh no, Givaldo and the 7 of Chris Hughes battling it out. Givaldo fighting to hold on to that 5th position. Well, these guys right now have opened up some gap. They have not really been able to pull away substantially. They got a little over about a second and a half. Right now, it feels like these guys have a plan and they're working together. As we take a look at our side-by-side view there, Sean Jacobs is in 3rd. It's going to be hard, I think, for him to really eat up a ton of distance unless these guys have burned up their tires. He is chipping into it a little bit, but that running nose to tail there is going to help these guys, especially if they start swapping spots. They can kind of save some fuel to them, maybe get a little bit more, a little bit more out of this run. As Vieta now challenging for the lead, and maybe he was listening to my broadcast, huh? Maybe these guys swapping spots here. Let Jesus save some gas. About a 10th. Archer is opening up a little bit of a gap. That would probably make Jesus a little bit more of a victim there, as Sean Jacobs is trying to close in. He's half a second down to Jesus Iglesias, and he is chipping away at that time. So the 24 running in 3rd, closing in on P2 here on lap 22. We've got a 3-car breakaway so far. Sean Jacobs has been able to run these guys down, and Jacobs now trying to figure out who would be a good spot to get around Jesus. He's definitely reeled him in. I'm getting some word that these guys are going to be coming down pit lane here as well. So the 24 going to be coming down pit lane. And it looks like maybe John Stanley's on pit lane as well. So John Stanley is on pit lane. Maybe the 27 coming down pit lane. So pit stops on the menu. Oh, Jacobs wanted to come down pit lane. Jesus came to the inside. Oh, my heavens. That really did not help out those guys. Did you see that? That got dicey right there. That got dicey. Jesus, Artivieta's come down pit lane as well. Chris Hughes now our race leader, but that got dicey. Holy Toledo. Let's take a look at this. This is a little bit go a little bit further back, I think. Oh. I'll tell you what, man, we got to look at that again. Watch this. Watch this. Sean Jacobs to the inside right here. That might be a little bit off, too. Let's take a look here. Look at this. Watch this. Jesus goes to the inside. I think he gets down on the bottom right here. Jacobs knows he's already announced he wants to pit. And there might have been some rubbing right there. There might have been some rubbing. And 24 able to launch. I hope he didn't get caught speeding. That it was really fast. I think he was a little fuming under the hood there. I got close. Watch that again. Just watch this. Little deal here. Watch Jesus dive down to the inside. Right here, he says, hey, I'm going to pit. And Jacobs doesn't really expect that. I don't think there was contact, but Jacobs jerked the wheel to the right to get that car, keep the 22 from hitting him. Able to gain that distance back, but wow. A little drama as the 4 on and off pit lane is got a second and a half lead. And guess who's back there? In P2. We don't need that. We need this. So right there, 1.4 back is the 62 of Stanislav Pavlov all the way up to P2. A little bit of gap to work on. But he seemed to be pretty cleanly on and off pit lane, other than that almost disaster that we had. 28 laps in, and Archer Vieira is our leader. And that lead has diminished. I think Archer might be talking a little bit of fuel save strategy. He does have some help with the 62 and the 27 working together here, trying to close in, but now under a second. And Vieira, I think, might be on some fuel save strategy. Oh, Pavlov into the outside wall. Take your eye off the 8 ball for just a split second, and into the outside wall is the 62. Can't be doing that. I picked him to win. Ed Palumbo had to come back down pit lane, I believe. Let's take a look. Ed Palumbo, I believe, had to come back down pit lane, and now shown 1 lap down, and I believe it might have been speeding. So Ed Palumbo gets caught. And now 1 lap down in the 11th spot. It is so easy to speed here. The Mellow Yellow sponsor machine served a drive-through and now back out in the 11th position. Well, Archer Vieira, they closed in on him and got around him. We'll take a look at this pass. So Archer Vieira now shown back in the 3rd position. We'll take a look here with 70 laps to go. A lot of room, or a lot of racing in front of us. As oh wow, the 62 moving through there. I'm not sure what happened to the 4. He might have got a little bit loose. Take a look at this again. Watch the 62. He's underneath the 4, and I don't know if the 4 gets a little loose or what. Maybe just timing that a little bit off. Wanted to dive in behind. Saw the 27 coming. Wanted to get behind the 62, but the 27, he's feeling a little racy down that Castrol Edge sponsored Ford. Top Ford on the grid right now. Good battle here, the 22, the 68, and the 89. Couple Chevys there working on that Toyota. And the 68's able to get around as Dana falling back to P8. Jesus after pit stops now shown in P6. So Stanislav Pavlov, our race leader. Preston Hassel second, Art Vieira third, Sean Jacobs fourth, Chris Shoes running in the 5th position. As you see, Gilmar Peixoto now going 1 lap down. He's in the lucky dog position. As the 62 makes his way around Gilmar. And out of the back of the 62, you see the P2, P3, and P4 getting around the lap car. Good racing savvy right there. Gilmar knew that these guys were faster. He got to the outside and let them go. That's just racing etiquette 101 right there. 89 wanting to get their spot back. Valdo running in the 8th position as the 89 of Dana Grover capturing P7. Sean Jacobs now battling Artur Vieta, a couple Chevys. Trying to close in on that Ford as Stanislav Pavlov up front, the Ford, the 27 of Preston Hassel in P2. And Sean Jacobs pulling off that pass. Take a look here. Ed Palumbo following the 7 of Chris Hughes. Ed Palumbo battling Jomar Peixoto, not for, well actually that is for position. So Ed Palumbo now back in the lucky dog spot. That was a big pass there for the 54 car. '24 going down to the bottom side of the 27. 24 wanting to get around this Ford as Artur Vieta tried to follow him through. Take a look at right there as the 4 car battling the 27, trying to follow the 24 through that gap. So a couple Chevys now beating up on the Ford. Sean Jacobs P2, Artur Vieta P3, and 4th is Preston Hassel. Uh-oh, look where we're at now. We're watching a little replay there. Look where we're at now. Sean Jacobs closing in off Stanislav Pavlov. Couple Chevys there working together to close in on the 62. Pavlov wants to get back around, though. He's not done. Now, I think this is where, I was talking about this earlier. This is where it's a little bit of a sucker track because it looked like he kind of backed off and said, hey, okay, I know better than this because it's going to eat up my tires. I mean, this thing will chew up tires if you really push it through the corners, try to dive on the bottom side. Better to set up a passer on the straightaways. The Castro edge sponsor machine now trying to get around Pavlov. The 27 trying to claim this spot on the 62. They're drag racing here through the trioval. That's going to hurt them if they don't figure this out. The front two are going to walk away from them. The 62 on the high line is going to probably let that 27 have that spot without too much fight. The 27 now sets his sights on Artur Vieta. Jesus Iglesias, he's running in the 6th position. He's out there kind of by himself right now. He's running in P6 in the 22. We led some laps here tonight, but the second half here, or approaching the second half, has been a little bit off the pace. We had that little hiccup on pit lane, so that may have thrown off his rhythm. Take a look at here, the 12 and the 68. 12 to the bottom side, the 68 up on the high side, and the 68, oh, get into the wall. 68 drifted up into the wall. Wow. And Jack Furtado, take a look out at the front of his machine. Watch that 68 car up at the outside wall right there. Boom. Man, that'll make you spill your drink. They're able to gather it back up. Jack Furtado had a ringside seat for that one, and now he's going to try to get around 68. Now, this is not for position. 68 is on the lead lap. 94, Jack Furtado in 11th. Sean Jacobs leading, but he's got Artur Vieta right there. Couple Chevys trying to run away from this Ford. Stanislav Pavlov now falling back a half a second behind P3. Pavlov led some laps, but now that gap is widening. Chris Hughes in the 7 car. He's running in the 5th position. And he is about 2.5 seconds off the race lead. Got about a second gap between he and Pavlov. And Palumbo just behind him, and at 54 is 1 lap down in the lucky dog position. We go John Stanley running in 8th. Kind of out there by himself right now in no man's land as we've got this field sort of stretched out a little bit. You have a few kind of packed up, but for the most part, kind of stretched out. Front 3 within a second of one another. As Preston Hassel has not let these guys really get away from it. In the 27 car. 46 laps in, man. I don't want to say it, but I'm going to say it. So far, caution free. And they haven't even really tried to bring out a caution. Jesus Iglesias running in the 6th spot. Dana Grover running in 7th. Now the 12 car is indicating he's going to be coming down pit lane, so we might be ready for some more green flag pit stops. Remember, it looked like Pavlov's come down pit lane. But I'm thinking the Tim Horton sponsor machine, maybe the 24, he might be pitting as well. So Tim Horton sponsor machine is on pit lane. And Sean Jacobs, got to wonder when he's going to be coming down pit lane. It does look like he is inching down to that white line. So Sean Jacobs, I believe, is going to make a pit stop. And it looks like the 27 is going to follow him through. Artuveta going to hang out here on the track. You see the 12 taking 4 tires and fuel. And if 4 cars out there on the track, I don't know if his plan is to come down line. Yeah, good battle here off pit lane. It looks like those guys getting in their pit stall, but the 4 car, he's hoping to, maybe get these guys a lap down, stay out here. Maybe a caution flag comes out, and he can make this a one-man race. We might be hearing that John Stanley might have to come back down pit lane. I'm not sure. Take a look at him. And he does. He got caught speeding. John Stanley. See Gilmar there as well. Givaldo. So John Stanley having to come back down pit lane. And you know what that means. I think you all know what that means. Where's he at? Where's he at? Speed gun. Sammy Speed Gun right there, got him. So the 12 drive through. Oh man, that's devastating. Devastating. What I say in my race keys, we'll visit those. We'll revisit those. So the 12 car gets caught speeding. Wow. Sammy Speed Gun got him. That's I don't think what John Stanley had in mind when he was coming off the track to come down pit lane. 62 back out on the track. See the 94 down on the bottom line. 94 running in the 12th position. He is 2 laps down. As the 62 gets by, the 27 right there with him. Now, here's the thing to think about. Those guys now have about a 3-second gap over Artuveta. Chris Hughes has gotten around, so Chris Hughes now moving up to P3 as Artuveta falling back to 4th. With a 7 car on the move. Top 5 run for him tonight. Sean Jacobs, after pit stops, has now fallen back to the 5th position in that 24 Kubota-sponsored Chevy. One of our great Pennsylvania drivers. Got him out there by himself. We got 1 through 5, 4-second gap, about 4.5-second gap between P5 or P1 and P5. And we're taking a look at the 5th place car, Sean Jacobs. Preston Hassel, I'll tell you what, man, it's been a little bit of a quiet night so far for him. I think he'll take that. But he is running in the 2nd position. The Castrolette sponsor machine, the top Ford, only 2 Fords out there on the grid tonight. A lot of Chevy. Chevy heavy tonight. 27 just seems like he's biding his time. They're letting that 62 burn a little bit more fuel. And, you know, that's kind of a double-edged sword, too, because even though maybe the 27's saving some fuel, as soon as the 62, if he's, you know, got to pit a little bit earlier, peels off the track, the 27 has nobody to work with, and those guys are going to close in. They're already starting to chip away a little bit. The 4 and the 7. They've gotten around the 94. Chris Hughes made a pass there on Arcvette a little while ago. And these guys are trying to chip into that gap. About 1.3 separates P1 to P4. Glacius out there a little bit by himself. He's running in the 6th position. Led some laps early. I haven't seen him hit the wall or anything. It would be so great if we had visible damage in this mod. That'd be awesome. Not just pieces flying out, but I mean like dented fenders and stuff. Come on. That would be lovely. Dana Grover is the last car on the lead lap. He's about 15.5 seconds down to the race leader. Just ahead of him is John Stanley, who is 1 lap down, who got caught speeding. So Dana Grover does not want to go a lap down. That is for sure. See, he's got a little work to do to catch up to Jesus. About 9.5 seconds there to separate P6 and P7. 6-7, man, 6-7. Oh, God. It's funny, I teach high school, and I want to try to avoid numbers 6 and 7 for some reason because it just sparks a riot. Every generation has some quirky thing, they pick up on and some cultural thing, right? Become part of the culture, I should say, the subculture. 60 laps in, Stanislav Pavlov. Down, he's doing his best to try to help me out here, but looky. Look at the traffic behind. Do I see a Chris Hughes? Do I see an Archer Vieta? I do. Those guys have saved a little tires. Maybe pit a little bit later. They got better tires right now. Chris Hughes down to the inside. He's giving it a peek. As the 27, leaving him a little bit of room. Wow. Good battling going on here. Look at that concentration. Stanislav Pavlov. He better mind his P's and Q's because these guys are looking like they want a round. Get better. Oh, there we go. Preston Hassel. The 27 diving down to the inside. So Preston Hassel now. Sorry, man, I've played around with the cockpit camera. I used to do in-car interviews for guys under caution. I should start that again, man. I kind of gave that up. And the 62 now battling for the race lead. And he's got her back around. 27. Take a look at the 89 here. Oh my God. 89, hard lick there for him. No caution flag to keep the car straight. So far, he's in the grass. Oh, my heavens. What happened there? Take a look at here, Dana Grover. And, Givaldo gets into the outside wall. Dana, he is going to be a victim of circumstance. Take a look at this. As Givaldo sliding up the track, gets into Dana Grover, and that is heavy damage. And then more contact. Wow. Oh, my heavens, man. Givaldo got up at the outside wall. Man, this is going to hurt. And he comes back up on the track, and he's going to get into Dana Grover right there. Oh, my heavens, man. So no caution flag. They kept the car straight.
Yellow, yellow, yellow.
We got a yellow flag here. We got a yellow flag for another incident. And something happened to the 62. Oh, the 71 got loose right there. I'm not sure why. Oh, there. Wow. And what brought out the caution flag? Those guys got it straightened up. Maybe Givaldo, man, we had 3 separate incidents there. Givaldo coming across the grass. This is a separate incident. So after the contact with the 89, Givaldo hard to the inside. Wowza. Man, we had this incident here we were checking out. Right here, Givaldo coming up the track, gets into Dana. 89, hard lick, loses the hood, gets more contact for him. They straighten him up into the grass, right the ship, big time damage there. We had another incident with the 71, and then he gets loose there. We'll go back and look at that. He gets loose. What's this? The car just comes around. Oh, maybe he was trying to miss the hood or something. The hood's there on the track, and the 62 gets into him. Not so far. Oh, a little bit more contact there for the 62. Not hard contact, though. And I think the one that did it in, that brought out the caution flag, was this one here with the 68 getting off the track and comes across and smashes into the pit wall. Man, we had all kinds of stuff going on there. So Givaldo, back here and look at him, and he had some big-time damage. I mean, it seems like he's got the car kind of working like, hey, man, let's get around here to pit lane, but the car just comes around on him again. Oh no! Right there, there's contact with with Grover. Contact with Grover. Grover said something about some steering issues. Take a look at this again. Oh, he got into the wall there, and it comes across and gets into. Yeah, he had some steering issues in the 68. Man, what in the world happened? 3 crashes altogether. Man, oh man. Man, we had that, we were doing so well, and now we had 3 crashes on like 2 laps. Some guys are all beat up now. They're going to have to come down pit lane to get some service done. on pit lane, our first yellow flag. And that was everybody was trying to bring out the yellow flag. And somebody finally did. So full pit stops going on here. And this will be interesting to watch. And we're going to take a look at this. I like where they do the pit camera right there. You know, Pavlov's probably going to be a little bit more on pit lane. Look at that. The 7 car fast off pit lane. The 27, 24. Vieta also off there. 62 is good, but I'll tell you what, Daniel Grover's got a ton of damage to that car. Man, ton of damage to the 89. Not what you want to see. So I don't know if it was me saying, hey, we've had this, we have been caution free, and they've had some pretty aggressive racing at times, but for the most part, it's been pretty tame too. And I thought really that they were going to be able to maybe be caution free tonight, but man, everybody just at the drop of a hat decided to spin out. Or a bunch of them, 68s coming off the track, coming down pit lane. That Palumbo's found his car back up there up front. The 54 Mellow Yellow sponsor machine. He got caught a lap down with a speeding penalty. And now back on the lead lap. So good news, bad news. Good news for Ed as he gets back on the lead lap, and maybe I get up there and mix it up with some of these guys, and knowing that maybe some of these guys have a little bit of damage. Pavlov definitely has a little damage. I don't think it was too substantial. He might have been able to pull some fenders out on that. But wow. That got interesting there. I think the 12 car will get a wave around. You'll get back on the lead lap. I have a feeling here that they're going to turn up the juice. Yeah, Palumbo coming down pit lane. Givaldo on there on pit lane for an extended pit stop. As Palumbo in the 54. Yeah, Palumbo's getting a penalty. So it looks like he sped down pit lane. So he is, or maybe entered a closed pit. It could be. Not sure exactly what that was. So he's doing stopping on pit road. So he's got a penalty. Speeding, I believe. We'll see. Well, here's what I think. I think the aggression is going to go north, baby. Going to go up. Peg the needle. That's how I feel. I hope it doesn't, but woo. Now, front row, 27 and the 4. Here on lap 71, you see the 22 and the 7. 62 will start in the 5th position. Here we go. Pace car's off.
Green flag.
Back
go,
to
go,
green.
Go.
Start lap 72. We're winding them down. And now I think the aggression, it's all take and no give now. All take and no give as the 27. Coming off turn 2, down the backstretch. Archiveta diving down to the inside line. He's got a little help from the 22. The 4 of Archiveta. Making a statement there with an early pass. Let's go. Just behind him, Jesus Iglesias. Archie says, don't get the camera on me, put it on Jesus. Pavlov there trying to get by as well. Whoa! And the 27 dropped back. John Stanley, there's something happened to him. Let's take a look here. Oh, there's contact. Oh, Stanley was pitting. And it keeps it straight, but whoa, he said he announced his pit entrance, but Givaldo might not have gotten the message there. So a little bit of a contact. Oh. More contact. So Archer Vieira leading the field. Jesus Iglesias just behind Jesus has now ran the best time. New best time for Jesus here on lap 75. 62, Stanislav Pavlov working the outside line. So Archivita the leader, the 22. Jesus Iglesias in second. Third is Stanislav Pavlov. Chris Hughes running in the 4th position. He could be the sleeper here tonight. He could be the sleeper. On board here with Chris Hughes. Oh, man. Making contact with the wall. Not going to be the sleeper that way. Not going to be the sleeper that way. Now we got a battle here with Pavlov and Iglesias. Then he saw Pavlov and Iglesias. Like Iglesias is able to get back around. Wowza. .78 laps in. Archer Vieira is the leader. Jesus Iglesias is second. Stanislav Pavlov third. Chris Hughes fourth. Preston Hassel is fifth. Oh, no. Stanislav got in the outside wall. Got in the outside wall. As the 7 of Preston the 7 of Chris Hughes running in the 4th spot. Preston Hassel falling back to P5. A good 1 through 5 separated by about 1.2 seconds. John Stanley in the outside line, going to let those guys go through. Take a look at Jack Furtado in the 94 on this bottom line as the 54 and the 89 getting through. Man, I'll tell you what, this is the second half of the race here. Should say like 2/3 of the way through the race. It just went off the rails there for a bit. 20 laps to go. Sean Jacobs running in the 6th spot. Behind him, Dana Grover. Now, Dana Grover is 1 lap down. Ed Palumbo is the next car on the lead, lapping at 54. 94 going to get by. As the 54 peeling off the track. Coming down the track to, I believe, do a stop-and-go penalty. Right now we got a 2-man race, Archer Vieta and Jesus Iglesias. Sort of how we started out. These guys ran off early on. Later in the run, reeled them in. They may be having this strategy now because they're realizing, hey, you know what? Not that many laps to go. They may not be able to catch us. Chris Hughes running in the 3rd position. He's about 2 seconds off the race lead. Preston Hassel is 4th. Sean Jacobs is 5th. Stanislav Pavlov is on pit lane. Gelson Neto in here cheering on. Where's Gelson at, man? You should be out here racing with us, bro. Gelson rooting on or cheering on the 4 of Archer Vieta. A little racing here with Stanislav Pavlov and Sean Jacobs. Pavlov in the 62, working the inside line. Jacobs on the outside line of the 24. Oh, man. A little tight there. 62 using a little muscle there to get around. The 24 is going to try the crossover move. Oh, slamming the doors, the 62. Yeah, I'm hearing the 27 is going to be coming down pit lane. This is interesting. He's in the 4th position. I don't know if there's some fuel save. Jomar Peixoto getting a penalty. Starts speeding on pit lane. So Sean Jacobs, taking a look at him as Preston Hassel peels off the track to make a pit stop here on lap 87. Vieta the leader. And we are having some pit stops going on. Green flag pit stops, that's what it is. Not enough fuel to make it to the end. Preston Hassel on pit lane as Archer Vieta out there by himself. Jesus Iglesias has peeled off the track. Come down pit lane. So Preston Hassel now coming back out. I don't think you take a full load of fuel here, right? They get enough laps maybe like 2 over what we got. You know, maybe put about 15 laps of fuel in there. See Jesus Iglesias on pit lane. Sean Jacobs also on pit lane. Jesus finishing up his pit stop. Now I got to wonder what the 4 is going to do. It's going to be interesting here to see this play out. As Jesus Iglesias has finished up his pit stop. So he and Vieta and Chris Hughes are the top 2 and the only 2 on the lead lap. You got to be careful here. If you wait too long, you might be in trouble. I don't know if Vieta has enough to be able to make it to the end. It's quite possible that he does. I'm not hearing anything on the radio. Oh, there he is, right there. 4 coming down pit lane. So he is going to give up the race lead to Chris Hughes. So Archer Vieta on pit lane. This could be really, really interesting. Chris Hughes, the leader. Jesus Iglesias, he's wanting to get back on the lead lap, and he does. So Chris Hughes, the leader. Archer Vieta, what's he going to do? Just top off. See a 62 getting by. Now I got to question whether Chris Hughes has to come down pit lane. Vieta coming back out. He's still in P2. This is interesting. A little pit strategy going on with his caution flags. The way this worked out. Can Chris Hughes hang on? Does he have enough fuel to make it to the end? And Chris Hughes does not have enough fuel. So he is coming down pit lane. And that's going to give the race lead to the 22, I believe. We will see. So Chris Hughes peeling off the track to come down pit lane. Dana Grover on pit lane. Vieta now on those fresh tires, closing in on Iglesias. He might be a sitting duck at this point. Iglesias might have just taken 2 tires. Boy, Vieta is flying right now. See Dana Grover finishing up his pit stop, coming back out in 7th. .93 laps in. Jesus Iglesias, the leader. Pitted a little bit earlier than Vieta. Vieta definitely fresher tires now. Interesting race here. Pit stop strategy, a little few caution or a caution flag. We had a bunch of problems as far as a couple wrecks there happening all at the same time, or maybe 3 wrecks. Guys getting caught a lap down. And here we are, 95 laps in, and the 22 and the 4 are racing for the race win. Stanislav Pavlov in 3rd. Hassel is 4th. Jacobs is in 5th. Five laps to go. I have to think that, Jesus is kind of a sitting duck here. I just have that feeling. Vieta definitely has better tires or newer tires. Question is, did he cut the fuel that he puts in the tank there to give himself a little bit lighter car and some more speed? These guys rolling up on some lap traffic. That's John Stanley, now 2 laps down here on lap 97. I just have a feeling that 4 car is just timing it. He doesn't want to get around too early and allow the 22 to use the draft, try to slingshot back around him. He's starting to flirt around with that white line. Got to stay above that white line. Looking for a spot to pass. 3 laps to go. Across the start-finish line. We'll have 2 to go. Can the Orange Crush sponsor Chevy hold on? Can he hold off the charge by the 4? The 4 looking for a spot. 2 laps to go here at Kansas. Yet now looking to the outside a little bit. Oh, a little bit out of the 22 got below the white line just a little bit, scrubbed off a little bit of speed. It looked like the 4 car got into the back of him. Does the 4 car have damage now? Last lap. The 4 wanting to try to time this just right. This is going to get interesting here. You can't wait too long. With the 4 into the back of the 22, pushed him a little bit. Does the 4 have what he needs to be able to get around the 22? And I don't think he's going to do it. The 22 is going to win this race. Jesus Iglesias, barbecue, getting the win. I was surprised there. I thought Vienna was going to go early. And Jesus Iglesias pulls off the race win. Congratulations to him. And a big win for the Orange Crush Sponsor Machine. Barbecue. What a great win there for the 22. A big one. What a great win. How about that? Didn't have that on my bingo card. I didn't. So congratulations to Jesus Iglesias. It's been a while since we've seen him in victory lane. That's going to be a good interview. Always good for him. Jesus Iglesias, boy, I really thought he was going to be able to. Really thought he was going to be able to get the win here tonight with that 4 car, but not so fast. Jesus not going to be able to. Said he's not going to be able to do an interview with us tonight. That's a little bit of a shame. So, no problem. Probably. What are we? It's like 12:30 a.m. there for him. So let's take a look at the final results. And look at that. He's on fire. You gotta be kidding me. He's on fire, burning it up. That's why we call him Jesus Barbecue Iglesias. So Jesus Iglesias gets the win. Art Uvetta finishes in that 2nd position. Preston Hassel finishes 3rd. Stanislav Pavlov finishes in that 4th position. Sean Jacobs finishes 5th. Chris Hughes finishes in the 6th position. Finishing in 7th is Dana Grover. Ed Palumbo finishes in at 8th position. John Stanley finishes in 9th. Givaldo Spindola finishes in P10. Finishing in the 11th position is Jack Furtado, and Gilmar Peixoto finishes in P12. So congratulations to Jesus Iglesias for getting the win here at Kansas. See if we can't get that linked up there a little bit better. There we go. Get that moved around. So congratulations to Jesus, man. It's been a while since we've seen him in victory lane. Always enjoy. It's a shame he couldn't do an interview, man. Always enjoy that. So big win there for Jesus Iglesias. And the chat is lighting up. Fantastic run there. Really was a good clean race there, other than that little smidge there, that 2 laps. That's crazy. Don't forget, tomorrow night we'll be at Richmond for race number 5 in the Saturday Night Thunder and Next Gen Series. 130-lap race. Qualifications start at 9. Race starts at 9:15. 130-lap race at Richmond. Thank you so much for joining me here on the YouTube channel. Really appreciate that support. Don't forget to hit that thumbs up button, subscribe if you haven't done so, and smash the bell. You'll get updates when races are going live. Don't forget, we got some more racing coming up on Wednesday next week. Nashville Super Speedway in the trucks. Oh boy. Race number 5 of the season, and that'll be a fun one. Nashville. Be good side-by-side race there, tough on tires, and there's a tire rule in this series. Racing starts at 8:15 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. What an amazing win there for the 22, really. I mean, the way this worked out and the way that, pit stops happened, the way that the crashes happened and the damage and the penalties and so forth, just came out in the 22's favor, and I think the 4 car might have waited a little bit too long to be able to get around him. But you need a little help too. A little slingshot, and I don't think he quite maybe had the juice to be able to do that. Well, next week we will be at the Daytona Duels. 2 races, 2 35-lap races to set the front row on the February the 13th full race at Daytona. Should be a fun one. Well, thank you so much for joining me here. We'll see you next time, boys and girls. I am out of here.